And welcome back, everyone, to What If, the week of What If. And from Mo N, we have the question of, what if Tien and Chiaotzu end up fusing together? Now, we know fusion exists within the Dragon Ball Z world. Frankly, it's more common than it should be, based on the types of people, types of cultures who use it. Between Platara, the Metamorian, Namekian fusion. I'm sure there's a couple other fusions out there we just don't know of yet. I mean, Buu technically has a form of fusion. It's more of absorption, but technically there's fusion involved. But the question is, what would happen if Tien and Chiaotzu fused? Now, would it be a permanent fusion? How would it happen? How strong would this individual be? When would it happen? All right, so let's get the immediate question out of the way. When would it happen? Realistically, it would have to happen like near the end of the series. But for the sake of at least a longer one shot than that, let's say it happens during the training arc for the Saiyans. Now, we do have the power levels of both Tien and Chiaotzu, and neither of them were that strong. I mean, Chiaotzu has never been a powerhouse of strength. He was like a mid 600s, I think, for his power level. Tien is around as peak around a little over 1800. Almost 1900, but that was nothing compared to Nappa, who was over twice as strong as even Tien, who was the strongest human of the group. So let's say it happens there during the training. During the training, Tien and Chiaotzu are thinking that there's more we can do. Chiaotzu, I know it. Like they do a specialized training. They're learning. They're like using the pendulum room, looking back in the past, and they see something that raises an eyebrow. It's like, wait, what is that exactly? And they look on, and Popo kind of like, it appears to be a technique passed down by the insert race here. Because if they learned fusion dance, they just teach it to the whole group. No, I think whatever this fusion is has to be a permanent fusion only they can do. So instead of Tien and Chiaotzu, you would get, that's a good question. I didn't think of a name yet. We'll get to that in a second. The result is quite impressive, but think of it like a natural version of the Patara fusion. Basically, Metamorian dance, but it's permanent, or Metamorian like the fusion dance, but it's a permanent fusion as opposed to a temp fusion. Excuse me. Hell, I could see an argument being made that maybe the Namekians and the Ardradians, because they did have tech, they were able to be spacefaring. We know Namekians can be. So we assume Yardradians can be being frankly a little bit more of an advanced society than the Namekians. Maybe at one point they collaborated and created this technique, and maybe Kami knows and shows it again after seeing it. It's like, be warned, once you use this technique, you will not be able to unfuse, except through drastic means. Drastic means I'd have to use the Dragon Balls to do something. It would have to be something as powerful as the Dragon Balls to undo the fusion, and we need to save them to resurrect Goku. It would have to be at least 2 years who would remain as such. Saying, no, we got to do this. If we're going to have any chance, I can already tell we're just not going to be as strong as we are. We need to get stronger. It's like, I'm going with you all the way, Tien. All right. Well, you heard him. Let's do this. Now, you might be asking, why doesn't anyone else do this? And I think that answer does, I think after they reveal the new form of them, they answer say, unfortunately, it's a technique. I don't know if it's wise to be teaching it to the rest of you. Technically speaking, more fighters is better than one fighter. And that there is some logic there, like having more fighters are training harder, sure, but at the same time, having as we saw, having one fighter, Nappa, who's completely stronger than the entirety of the rest of them. I mean, if you actually add all their power levels up together, they, roughly speaking, were stronger than Nappa, but would take Tien, Piccolo, and Krillin merging all their full power together in order to be stronger than him at his peak. Because we know the 4,000 power level isn't his peak. We don't have a firm answer what his power level is, but I commonly think it's around like 7.5 thousand, just because Goku was still outpacing him at power level of 8,000 after he powered up, but it was close. So, excuse me. So eventually the technique comes out, and the reveal of the fusion is there. Now, what does this actual fusion look like? I think Tien shrinks in half in size. He's probably taller than Krillin, but shorter than Yamcha. And he's already taller than Yamcha, too. He's shorter than Yamcha, taller than Krillin, which puts him, I think, like at, because Krillin's not tall. He's like 3 something. He's like 3 foot something, if I remember correctly. Yamcha, and actually, Goku's not that tall either, surprisingly. He's about like 5'9", I think. So I'd put him maybe like 4.5 foot. Anyway, he's shorter. He's also got paler skin. Not quite Chiaotzu pale, but paler skin. He still has like the clown cheeks. That one hair strand that Chiaotzu has, though he's probably wearing the hat, let's be honest. But most importantly, he has Tien's eye. And, and he's got more of a serious look to Tien than Tien. And it's like, hi, guys. And it speaks in the dual voice. Like, what happened? They explain what happened. It's like, so we are no longer Tien. I'm no longer Tien or Chiaotzu. I never thought of a name till now. Let's see. Xiaowen? No. Chaozeng? It's better. Tianzu? Oh, Tianzu. Yes, we're Tianzu now. Tianzu now. It's like, whoa, his power level's off the charts. It's way higher than that Raditz guy, which would be the case. That's a question we have to ask ourselves. How strong would this fusion actually be? Because Chiaotzu is not strong power-wise. He's strong psychically. So really, that's what Tien's really getting out of this. It's an increase of power, but also the psychic capabilities, like freezing someone in place. I think Chiaotzu might have some like manifesting powers too, like Piccolo can do clothes beam and stuff like that. I think he can do things like that. But yeah, the psychic capability, stopping someone's heart mid-fight, which is kind of a broken-ass ability, which I don't know why he didn't even attempt it on the Saiyans. Probably because Akira Toriyama probably forgot, if we're going to be honest. He had that power. But yeah, now you add it on someone as powerful as Tien, you might be able to do it. But also the question of how much stronger is Tien? Is it a power plus power scenario with a multiplier? Is it just power plus power? Is it a power times power? I'll say this. It is not going to be as strong as the Potara fusion, which is A times B, and your relationship can actually boost the power even more. Because these guys are so close as friends, they're practically brothers, let's be honest. They probably actually have a stronger bond, which enhances the fusion. I would say that it is probably more of an A plus B times a certain multiplier. That's what I'm assuming the Metamorian fusion is more like versus the Potara fusion. Because the Metamorian fusion, we simply just don't know what the actual multiplier for that is. Whereas the Potara is the only one we actually have a confirmed answer for. My guess, though, is, yeah, it's more plus times. And maybe, like, just say a times 5. Like a reasonable times 5. But again, maybe it's pushing it more like a times 6 because they have a stronger bond. So let's just give an arbitrary number right now. If we're using, say, this would be shortly before the Saiyans show up. They're probably not quite at their peak powers. So let's just put Tien at around the 1800, Chiaotzu at the 600. They do get a little stronger than that, but right there. So 2400 times that by 6, and you're looking at 14,800. So when they show up, they're, is it, you ready to do this? Ready as we'll ever be. And they're probably keeping their power suppressed too. And Nappa's smiling. They send the Cybermen after them. They all take out the Cybermen. Piccolo can also tell this guy's, I don't know who he is, but his strength is insane. Luckily, he's on our side for now. All right, kid, you ready to do this? And the Cybermen kind of, unfortunately, I think Yamcha still gets Yamcha. It's like, Yamcha, no! It's like, yeah. What's the matter, kid? What's the matter, buddy? You upset I blew up that cabbage blew up your friend? Oh, don't worry. If you miss him so much, I can help let you join. And then Tien just starts walking slowly. His power starts kind of increasing. Vegeta, what's this guy's power level exactly? Hold on, it's powers up. It's nearly 15,000. What? And then he's right in front of Nappa. It's like, you're dead. Boom! Just literally just puts an arm through him. No more messing around. There's like, you're done. There's like, impressive. I'll give you that. You're almost as strong as I am. This will actually be quite a fun fight indeed. And unfortunately, Tien can sense he's not lying. I'll have to stall until Goku gets here. That's my best option. So that changes a big thing. Piccolo is still alive here. Now you might be saying, we're at the 10-minute mark. Is it only a one-shot? Trust me, it's only going to be a one-shot. And say, I'll give you a chance right now. Surrender. Join us. Lord, after all, it's good help is hard to find. I'm going to enjoy beating you to living hell. Well, truth be told, I was hoping that would be a response, but I had to offer regardless. Now then, shall we try, cops? And then you start going on, boom, boom. Now, it's a good question. Do we think Tien is actually the better fighter than Vegeta? I mean, Vegeta's a good fighter. And as the series went on, he became more and more of a martial artist than anything else. But Goku was a better fighter. Let's actually be frank about that. Goku was the better technical fighter. And by all accounts, kind of still is. Yes, Vegeta beat him in the movie, Dragon Ball Super Superhero, in a spar, with no Super Saiyan, Ultra Instinct God abilities, and he outlasted Goku. Whoa. But let's be actually honest with ourselves. From a technical standpoint, from a legit skill standpoint, Goku probably has the better overall martial arts skill compared to Vegeta. Tien is also a highly skilled martial artist. I actually do think he probably has a bit more skill than Vegeta, and therefore is able to kind of one-up him in several ways. Like, he's almost dead even with him. Like, he's not that far off. He's about 1,200 off. So they're going back and forth. That's when Tien pulls out. So it's like, got you. It's like, what is my heart? What is he? He has psychic abilities. Damn you. Just blast him. Just unfortunately, Tien was probably not expecting that. Just you wretch, you. I didn't know you. I couldn't. Hiding psychic capabilities, were you? I see. Man, I've been really harsh in my voice lately. Well, I'm not going to make that mistake again. And then finally he powers up. He's now at the 18,000. And now he's wailing on Tianzu. Just, and, unfortunately, he tries doing the multi-form. That's the best you can do. And then finally, it's like, I gotta do it. And he gets put down. And now Piccolo, Krillin, and Gohan are both like, there's nothing we could do against him. This isn't good. And he's like, if Kakarot's not going showing up, maybe I'll have to give him some sense. Perhaps I should kill his son first. It's like, no, Gohan, can't let that happen. And I gotta stop him no matter what. Shin Gekko! And then, he just throws the attack at him. And look, he threw his all into that attack against Nappa. Didn't kill him, barely injured him. He was a little scuffed up. Him being as close as he is to Vegeta here, which is now about 3,200 away, is still enough that if Vegeta takes that hit, he is not going to be happy. He's going to be in a bad way. And I think Vegeta barely takes that, catches the blast. They clash. Boom, blows up. Vegeta does get roughed up quite a bit. It's like, damn it. He still have that much power left? A technique like that? Sorry, guys. And so, yeah. Ultimately, this leads to Goku showing up. The fight going roughly the same, though Goku is definitely holding more of an edge now that Vegeta's tired. And a little bit injured. But Vegeta's also now at full power, so it's immediately not going in Goku's favor. So Goku ends up overpowering him. They ends up going Ozaru. That results in, I think, Piccolo being the one to take off the tail. And then he has to hightail out of there. Now, that being said, what do we do? What do we do here? Because do they hit dynamic? Well, Piccolo is actually still alive. And he's probably more or less at that point where he's reformed. Because he would have gone to save Gohan if he needed to. But more to the point, they just gotta wait for the Dragon Balls to reset again. Kami's still alive. There's no real reason to go all the way out to Namek. Which means Namek's probably either going to get blown up, or Nail's going to be able to trick them into just sending them away using the Dragon Balls. Because either the Namekians don't let them use the Dragon Balls and they just blow up the planet, and then maybe head to Earth afterwards. Or, again, they trick them away and they still head to Earth, which means they're going to be there at Earth before the year's up. The Namekian year is much shorter than the Earth year. So by the time they show up, no one is at a power level that can do anything. Even Goku training in the hyperbolic time chamber with Gohan or Piccolo would not be enough. This is due to the fact that, even if, because Goku's power level right now would be, I believe, calculated around 10,000. Even if you gave them the full year in there, and Goku, we know, actually had a full 2 years. Goku's full power at best would be in the low millions, maybe. And while that would be enough initially, Goku's ego would let Frieza get stronger. And if he's not above 3 million, if he's not 3 million or above, even if he does Super Saiyan, it's not going to be enough to beat Frieza. That is an unfortunate reality. And I'll put it this way: with just training at 100 times gravity for less than only just over a week that he got to 90,000. He did a 9 times multiplier. But the stronger you get, the more you have to train to get stronger. The hyperbolic time chamber is not 100 times Earth's normal gravity. It's just 10 times, but the environment changes. It gets more intense the deeper you go in. This means that Goku probably is more along the lines of close to 500,000. And then if he goes in there a second time, he might hit 1 million. And I keep saying Goku because he's the real one you're going to have to watch out for in this scenario. So, unfortunately, no one's really going to be strong enough to beat Frieza when he decides to take the gloves off. Even Kami and Piccolo fusing together would not be enough in this scenario. So, unfortunately, this is going to result in Earth basically just being either destroyed or at least taken over by Frieza. All of our heroes killed. And, yeah, that's kind of the end of it, because then Boo is going to either the androids are going to be awoken, Cell's going to come, Trunks might come and stop Frieza, assuming the Earth's still intact. If the Earth's not intact, then Trunks just doesn't get to get to show up, or he just shows up in space what? No. And so he could beat Frieza theoretically. Then there's got to be a long wait period to try to get the Dragon Balls, except that either Namek is lost, can't find Namek, or Kami's dead. So there's no Dragon Balls. So that sucks. Cell eventually shows up if Earth's still around. He absorbs the androids, destroys Frieza. This systematically destroys planets until Boo is awoken in what capacity. And then he, goes and starts destroying planets until Beerus wakes up again, destroys Boo, and then eventually Zeno just destroys everything. Unfortunately, while they are a powerful fighter, it wouldn't be enough, I think, to really alter the story in a positive way. A negative way, absolutely, everyone dies. That is actually the biggest crux of the problem with some Dragon Ball What Ifs. If they don't get to a point of power where they can stop Frieza, the run's done. The story just ends. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time. It's been one of those days. Later.